debate tonight. Let's talk about the takeaways from the election results yesterday.
What a day.
Yeah, what a huge night for Democrats as well. To win the governor's office in deep red Kentucky, to win that ballot initiative that establishes abortion rights as part of the state constitution in Ohio, again, a very red state, and in Virginia, where the governor there made a big play to say, look, we've got some common sense kind of middle ground on abortion rights. Let's just take over the legislature. The opposite happened. The Republicans actually lost ground in that race. So a lot of important takeaways for the Democrats a year out, even on a night where Joe Biden wasn't directly on the ballot.
All right, let's talk about tonight's debate in Miami. All right, Mike Pence is out. Former President Trump will not be on stage. So what should we be on the lookout for?
Well, we're down to 5 candidates. We started with 8 at the first debate, then we were down to 7, and now only 5 making that stage. And yes, of course, Trump not being there. We're also seeing a little bit of a shifting in what the layout of that stage looks like. You're going to have Ron DeSantis again center stage. He's still polling higher than the others, but right next to him is going to be Nikki Haley, who has been hot on his heels in a range of polling. And I think, look, all of these candidates are starting to realize that you have to become the Trump alternative. Trump isn't going to start showing up at these debates anytime soon. I think it's pretty clear. So what do you do to distinguish yourself and stand out? It's a big moment, I think, for Haley, a big moment for DeSantis to try to revive himself, and others like Chris Christie put themselves back in the conversation.
But real talk, do you think any of these Republican candidates can actually beat Donald Trump?
Here's the thing. Someone will be an alternative. That's my bold prediction. Someone is going to have the potential to have that one-on-one shot. Maybe it happens with a surprise in Iowa or New Hampshire. Maybe it happens because a couple of others drop out and the donors kind of coalesce. It doesn't mean that Trump loses, but it does mean that someone is going to get a shot at some point to face up in pretty close to a head-to-head.
All right, let's talk about the possibility of Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin throwing his hat in the race for the White House. Does he still have that political juice?
I think last night closed the door on Glenn Youngkin. He made this big play. He says, look, give me control of the legislature. I've got an answer on abortion. The donors love him. But bottom line is he didn't get what he wanted in this election. And he knows, and his team knows, that probably what would be happening to him is the same as is happening to the other folks on the stage. So I think among the candidates you see on the stage, those are going to be your candidates. And then, of course, Trump, who's not there and is doing some counter-programming of his own down in Miami.
I'm curious because there have to be some takeaways, some lessons the Republican Party learned from the election results yesterday. Yeah. What do you think we're going to see? How do you think that's going to play out on the debate stage?
Yeah, look, I think I'm looking at this debate because it's the first one that happened since the Israel-Hamas war began. That invasion that I think scrambled a lot of the politics. It gives a big chance to Nikki Haley, the former UN ambassador. I think abortion rights, though, given the results yesterday, has to come up in a really big way. What's the sweet spot? How do Republicans message this? Because we've seen it time and again, when it goes to the voters, the Republican, the conservative position does not work. It doesn't carry in red states, blue states, purple states. So what do you do about that? I also think we're going to hear a lot about the dysfunction in Washington, which is part of what happened yesterday, another kind of reaction to the dysfunction. We have a brand new House Speaker. We have a government shutdown about a week away. What would these people do, actually, to try to break some of the Washington gridlock?
So what does last night's results say about Biden's chances?
I think it's limited. I think, look, the Biden team is very happy because Democrats won, but the Democrats right now have a stronger brand than Joe Biden. Now, the two are always going to be related. When you put the issues forward and you put candidates that can localize issues around that forward, whether that's in Kentucky, whether that's in Ohio where it's just a ballot initiative, or whether it's in other states with targeted races last night like Pennsylvania, if you put forward an individual who can separate himself from the Biden brand, that actually helps. But these Democrats who won weren't running on the Biden banner. Some of them were avoiding him outright. It was the Republicans talking about that. And I think there's a lot of evidence the Democrats did well this year, not because of Biden, but in spite of him.